Seriously? Hey guys, and welcome to this, the first ever battle report from 6 Plus Stevo. So this could go epically wrong. It's going to be very interesting. I'm sure you're going to see rules got wrong, strange tactical decisions, poor army choice selection, and lots of other technical difficulties. But hey ho, we'll see how it goes. Maybe this will be a masterpiece, who knows? So we're going to introduce Mitch.
Yo.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. How are you?
So I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. So you're my first volunteer, willing victim to come and feature on the first ever momentous occasion, first ever battle report on 6 Plus Stevo.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And you've bought your towel along, haven't you?
Yes, I have. It's not ideal, but it's what I've got painted. So it's good.
You don't have to talk to me about the struggles of painting an army, mate. I know it all too well. Yeah, we are playing. What are we playing? We're playing a combat patrol game. So 500 points and small game. I wanted to start off small on the channel. In the future, I'm sure we will start building up and doing bigger games. But what mission are we playing? We've rolled off already. We're playing this one, Outriders. Table quarters, 4 objectives, fighting over them. We also have, don't we, Mitch? We have secondary objectives.
We do have secondary objectives.
What secondary objectives have you chosen for this mission?
I have chosen raising of the banners.
Nice.
Engage on all fronts and attrition.
Nice.
And my 3.
So you've gone for raise the banners. So you've almost chosen the same as me. I have gone for what are they called again? Survey, which is a mission specific one. I score 5 victory points if I control both objective markers in the neutral zones. So if I control both of them, I get 5 points. And then I've chosen attrition.
Yep.
And what was the last one called? Remind me.
Engage on all fronts.
Engage on all fronts. That is right.
Yes.
So yes, there we've selected our armies, we've selected our secondary objectives, we've selected the mission. Before we get started and start setting up, mate, we need to show off our armies, don't we?
We do.
Okay, well let's start with yours then. Let's go and check out the Tau. Okay, so first off we have Mitch's Tau army. And so what is this, Mitch? This is 500 points?
So this is 500 points. It's 497 to be precise.
So 497, so you're 3 points under. What power level?
Power level 26.
Nice. So we've got, and it's a patrol detachment.
It is.
So we've got, let's start with, so who have we got here? Who's this fella?
That is the commander in the XV8 battle suit. He is prepared to go. He's got 3 cyclic ion blasters and a shield generator.
Very nice. And he's your warlord, presumably.
He is my warlord.
Okay, what's his warlord trait?
His warlord trait is strength of the belief, Tau sect.
Okay, and what does that give him?
It gives him a 5+ feel no pain, essentially.
Alright, so you've made him survivable. And then we've got his 3 mates here. Who are these?
He's got a team of stealth suits with 3 burst cannons on them.
Burst cannons, yeah, don't like those. Orc boys don't like burst cannons. We got this fella back here.
We have got a broadside, bit powerful for this, but figured he would go with it. He's got Magna rail rifles. So 1 CP to give him a signature weapon system.
Nice, and he's one of the old school broadsides, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
This is basically like a 3rd edition Tau army now, isn't it? This was done.
Yeah. It was very old when it was first bought. 4th edition. Yeah,
nice.
Maybe 3rd edition.
I used to battle this army a long time ago with my Necrons back in the days. So yeah, we've got the broadside. So he was hoping some killer cans would arrive.
Yeah,
he's pleased.
To shoot at something big.
We've got this over here.
Got 1 piranha by himself. He's got a fusion blaster and 2 gun drones on him.
Nasty.
Prepared to move around.
And then we've got at the front your 2 troops choices.
2 standard troops. 2 5-team of fire warriors, both with leaders in there, all standard railguns. Railguns, pulse rifles.
Pulse rifles, all right, lovely. Okay, so there it is. That's what I'm facing. It looks like quite a well-rounded list. I see you've got some movement with the piranha. You've got some infiltrating, sneaky shenanigans from these guys.
Yeah, I've got
You've
a nice bit of movement.
got your gun line, mobile commander.
Well, yeah, the mobile commander also has the vectored manoeuvring thrusters equipped.
Good, good. I look forward to experiencing those thrusters. Look forward to your thrusting, Mitch.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, you've got some heavy firepower here. So yeah, you've got a nice, well-rounded list there.
Yeah.
What sept are these? It's not clans with you, is it?
They are Tau sept.
Tau sept. Okay, what does that give them?
Greater good, so it's their Overwatch within 6 inches. Any
Boo.
squads can fire it, hitting on 5s and 6s.
Okay.
In Overwatch.
Brutal, absolutely brutal in 9th edition, especially when the rest of us have got to pay stratagems to do Overwatch.
No, we don't do that.
Savage. Okay, it's going to be interesting. Let's have a look at what I've got to throw against these lads.
Give it a go.
Okay, so here is my patrol detachment of Bad Moons. They come in at 30 power level. 500 points, bang on. So what shall we start with? We have my Warlord, the good old Big Mech with KFF. He's the latest addition to my army, just recently painted. You may have seen the video showcasing him. So he's armed with a slugger and chopper. He's got the cleverest boss stratagem, which gives him a nice buff of increased weapon skill and wounds and attacks, I believe. And I've given him the Warlord trait Arda's Nails, which also ups his toughness. So his stat line's taken a nice buff, so he's now toughness 5. So then we move on to the heavy support. We've got 3 killer cans. I have given them the custom job Dirty Gubbins, so there'll be a -1 to hit when shooting at these fellas. They're all armed with big shooters and can claws. Then we've got a Legends unit. I've included a big gun armed with a cannon, just to make up the points really, and just to get some long range fire in there. Just yeah, I've not used it yet in game, so I'm looking forward to trying out the cannon. I have a unit of tank busters to fill out my elites choices. Just a unit of 6. Including a knob. That's all I could afford. So I've just got 6 tank busters. And then to fill out the troops, we've got a unit of 11 grots. They are led by good old Bob. He's back, the lucky grot. The not so lucky grot, I should say. And then a mob of shooter boys. I've got the obligatory tank buster bomb in there, a big shooter, and the knob is armed with a combi rocket. So yeah, that is my list. It's yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling confident yet. How are you feeling, Mitch?
Not sure. It seems like I've got plenty of things to shoot at.
You definitely have. I've definitely got the numbers advantage.
Tank busters could be a little bit scary depending on what you've got. You haven't got a weird boy in there.
No, couldn't afford a weird boy this time.
That's nice to not be up against one of those. Killer can should be nice cannon fodder.
Oh, you can hear the confidence. Well, let's find out, shall we? Let's see if these Bad Moons can outshoot the Tau. Let's see what happens. Let's go to the table. Okay, so we have set up our armies. I got to choose whether I was attacker or defender. I chose defense, which meant I got to choose table quarters. So I chose this one over here, primarily so that I could sort of get the range from my cannon really and get a sort of a clear line of sight to where I wanted. But the big central building is blocking a lot of line of sight. We have agreed pre-game that we can shoot through the main big open door of that one. So we've declared that before the game that yeah, we can shoot through that. So I started setting up first. And I've basically there wasn't much room, I've just condensed everything in. I've got my shooter boys up ahead, behind cover. I've got my cannon back here. He's just in range of the objective, so he can hold that. I've got my big mech here, trying to give cover saves with his KFF to these 3 units all around him. My killer cans, front and centre, they're leading the charge. Got my tank busters just here on the flank. And then right at the rear, the good old cowardly grots, held by Bob. There we go. And Mitch, you have set up a little differently to me. You're a bit more spread out. So we've got your Fire Warrior squad over here. We've got another one. I'm going to come round.
Yeah.
Here we are. So we've got another squad in the building here, and they are just 5 inches up, just barely by a hair's whisker of in range of that objective. The 6+ Stevo objective markers, no less. We have the broadside just skulking round the corner there, ready to cause some carnage with them nasty cannons. Your commander right up front here.
Nice bit of a risk, but he's
very
charge.
Bold for a towel. Look at that. He is not messing. We've got the piranha just here coming around the flank as well. And then way over here, sneaky gits, the stealth suits, just on my left flank, about to take the objective that should be rightfully mine, damn it. But yeah, here we are. So we're all set up, ready to go. We just need to do the important thing now, my man. We need to roll and see who gets first turn.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 4, so it looks like the Orks are getting first turn. Okay, so turn 1, the Orks moved forward. So we have the big gun has stayed still. The tank busters and grots have moved along here. The killer cans moved up towards the centre. The big mech came up behind to support. The boys over here, the shooter boys, they have moved forward a bit. So yeah, everything's basically surged forward in good Orky fashion. Just not the big gun at the back here. But it is now the shooting phase, and I thought I'd catch this on camera. Big gun is going to fire the first shot of the game, and he is going to fire it over yonder at said piranha fella. So he gets 1 shot, hitting on a 5. You don't have any minus to shoot or anything, do you?
A piranha is it's a flying vehicle, but nothing extra.
Good stuff. Okay, so we get 1 shot, hitting on a 5. Come on, baby. And he misses. There you go. Hopefully that's not an indication of how my game's going to go.
Fuck.
I really wish I'd filmed that. So what's going on? It's still the shooting phase. My tank busters here are about to split fire. A couple of them are going to shoot up at that piranha. The rest of them, the other 4, are shooting at these stealth suits. -1 to hit, so I need 6s to hit. I roll 3 6s. They're all Dakar shots as well. So we will catch this on camera. The extra shots. Let's see what those extra 6s give me. Another hit. Very nice. Okay, end of my turn 1. The shooting phase was interesting. It was a mixed bag. Started off with a cannon shooting at the piranha. He missed. But then the killer cans had a pop on him and shaved a couple of wounds off. And then the tank busters, the 2 tank busters that could see him, shot and did a marvellous job and destroyed him. So he went away, but he did leave behind 2 annoying little gun drones. The tank busters then also, the rest of them, the other 4, shot at the stealth suits and managed to kill 1 because they made a couple of fluky saves. And then the boys over here, they shot over, the shooters were out of range, but the rocket and the big shooter were in range of the fire warriors over there, and they killed 3 fire warriors. There's only 2 left over there. So that was the end of the shooting phase. I then declared charges. Both the killer cans and the tank busters attempted to charge these stealth suits, and both failed, and these took 2 casualties from the hideous overwatch of these horrible bastards. So I've lost 2 tank busters. In the morale phase though, tank busters held firm, stealth suits held firm, and so did those annoyingly brave fire warriors, they also held firm, which denied me some secondary objective victory points, which was very annoying. So no victory points scored, but it's early days yet, and now it is Tau turn 1. So we are still in Tau turn 1, Tau shooting phase. This horrible commander here, he is about to fire... What weapons is he firing?
Cyclic ion blasters. 3 of them.
That's how many shots?
3 shots each, so a total of 9 shots.
So he's firing 9 shots into these killer cans. He's supercharging, so he doesn't want ones. Also, mate, you are at a -1 to hit these cans because of their dirty gubbins.
So 3s to hit.
3s to hit. Still, oof.
No 1s, which is very good. And 2 2s, so...
That's a lot of hits.
7 hits.
Curse you. What's the strength of those guns?
The strength of those guns is 8.
Oh, 3s to wound.
Oh, that's also 2 2s. 2, 4,
5 wounds. What's the armour penetration of that?
It is a -1.
-1. So they are on a 4+ save. Come on, cans. Okay, so it's not too bad. We failed 2 saves. So 2 get through. What's the damage?
D3.
Oh, savage. You need snake eyes here. So we've got a 2 and a 2. So 4 damage.
Yes.
That has, I think the cans have 5 wounds each. I'll check that in the book in a minute. I'm sure they've got 5. So I think you've got a can down to his last wound there.
That's a very big shame.
You're damn right it is. Leave my cans alone.
Needed to kill one.
Okay, so turn 1 of the Tau is over. It was quite an eventful mixed bag for you, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, I guess so.
You had your
did a little bit.
stealth suits shot and killed 2 more tank busters, to which, when the morale test, another tank buster ran away. So I've literally just got my tank buster Knob, who managed to hold firm. He passed his attrition test when we failed the leadership. Your commander shot at the killer cans. And he dished out 4 wounds, so he really caused some pain. And then he jumped up here like a dirty coward. Then your broadside shot and it split fire, so he fired his missile pods into the cans.
Smart missile systems,
and
yeah.
Yes, he caused 1 wound got through. 1 wound, which would have been enough to kill. I failed my armour save, so I spent a command point re-rolling and then saved it. So I managed to just keep that can alive. You killed 1 shooter boy over here from your Tau.
1 shot.
Hiding in there.
He done well.
He took and then these guys here didn't do any shooting because they performed an action, didn't they? They have raised a banner here. So he's going to be scoring bonus points at the start of the next turn, the whole time that banner remains on that objective. But yes, so... yeah, it's still all to play for. Very early days, no points scored yet, but now we're going into turn 2, and it's all about these objectives and these secondary objectives. Let's see what happens. So a mistake was made. I did actually score some victory points because I have the secondary objective attrition. I scored 4 victory points because at the end of the battle round I did destroy a piranha. And no units of mine were fully destroyed yet, so I killed more than him, giving me 4 victory points. So it gives me a narrow lead at the moment, going into turn 2. Okay, end of Orks turn 2. Wasn't a bad round. It was quite good for me. So first off, we held this objective, so we scored 5 victory points at the beginning of the turn. Then the tank buster, the lone tank buster in the shooting phase, he managed to kill 1 more stealth suit with some beautiful shooting. He needed a 6. He rolled a 6. Daka rolled another 6. So with 1 rocket, he scored 2 hits and managed to kill 1 of the stealth suits. The killer cans then charged in around the corner. They were hiding around the corner, so I denied him Overwatch, which is vital against these Tau scum. And the tank buster charged in as well, just for the sake of it. But yeah, even with the -1 to hit, so the cans were hitting on 6s, they managed to get 2 through and killed him. So the stealth suits have been destroyed and knocked off this objective. Yay! And what else happened? The Bob and the gang have so much fun. They shot up at the commander. Only 5 of them were within range. They did score some wounds, but he made his saves.
Nice little 2+
yeah,
saves.
Bastard, because I was really hoping Bob would score. Big Mech took a pot shot at him as well, but he missed. The shooter boys over here shot virtually everything into the window here on these 2 cowardly fire warriors, and did absolutely dick. They did score a few hits and wounds, but he made his saves and kept him going. So that is the end of my turn 1. So I've scored. It's turn 2. Sorry, turn 2. God, it's almost like I'm not professional. So I scored the 5 victory points for holding that. I also, my secondary objective, engage on all fronts. I now have units wholly within 3 separate table quarters. That is 2 points for each of those at the end of my turn. So that gives me another 6 points. And I did destroy a unit. So if he doesn't destroy a unit in his turn, that'll be some more victory points for me.
Well, better shooting this time.
Well, at the moment, so what have I got? At the moment, have, at the end of my turn 2, I have 15 victory points. Not too shabby, but still early days. We're about to suffer Tau turn 2 and see what happens then. Okay, end of Tau turn 2. And you managed to do a little bit of damage, didn't you? Not as much as you were hoping.
I did no damage. Killed 3 things.
So this fella, the commander, he jumped down right in the face of my warlords. It was warlord to warlord. He shot a staggering amount of shots into him. But good old Big Mech tanked a load of them. A few bounced off his invulnerable save. And then he's got a super cyborg body as his shiny gubbins. So 2 got through, but he made his feel no pain rolls. So he got away completely unscathed. Then you're shooting your broadside, continued shooting over at the cannon and keeps failing to hit. Shot some missile pods over into the shooter boys, which caused a couple of deaths. The 2 fire warriors in there caused another death. The squad of 5 fire warriors in here did absolutely nothing. They just missed spectacularly with all their shots. So the shooter boys have taken a bit of damage, but they did make their leadership test. And you did score some points that round, didn't you? You scored, so you had this objective, which scored you 5 points, but you had a
banner on it.
It does. You had a banner, so you scored a bonus point there. And then you just about got 3 units in 3 table quarters to score your secondary objective of 6 points. The warlord here literally just being before the line, so he was able to capture this quarter. So 12 victory points scored for you in that game, which at the end of battle round 2, I've scored points, haven't I? Because I've destroyed something, haven't I, this turn?
You've got attrition.
So I got the attrition, so I got another 4 points. So that bumps me up to 20. So the score at the end of battle round turn 2 is 20 victory points to the Orks and 12 victory points to the Tau. Not a huge amount in it, still very much to play for. Let's see what happens in turn 3. So, end of Orc turn 3. Turn started off with scoring a few victory points. I had the objective over here at the start of the turn. This one and the one over here. So that got me the full 15 victory points. I then also scored points on engage on all fronts because I've still got the 3 table quarters. So that scored me another 6 points. So yes, and I also got survey, the special things. I held both the objectives in the neutral zones, which got me another 5 points. So it was a high scoring turn for me, and potentially may even get more because I did manage to kill your unit of fire warriors over there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
With the shooter boys, they finished them off. So if he doesn't destroy a unit of mine, it'll be a few more victory points headed my way. The Big Mech carried on repairing the cans. He's still only repairing 1 wound a turn because he keeps rolling bloody 1s for his D3. Bob and the gang, they took some more pot shots at the commander. they bounced off his armour, and they did consider attempting a charge and scaling the building, but Bob deemed that unwise and not sensible. So the rest of the Grops listened to him, and they're just sort of hanging about there, wondering what to do next, really. And then, yeah, there's not much else to speak of there, is there? It's now your turn 3.
Yep.
And I'm starting to run away with the points here, so you are hoping for a real good turn here, aren't you?
I am. I need some shooting to go right.
Yes. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so let's move on to Tau turn 3. Right, we just wanted to come in with a camera on this because it's a bit of a key moment. Mitch has been desperate, absolutely desperate to kill my big gun. Even though it has achieved nothing all game, he is adamant it must die.
It's sitting on objective.
The broadside over here, mate, with his big broadside rifles, he keeps missing, doesn't he? Every turn so far. Three turns, he's missed it every time.
Command rerolls.
Although he did split fire, and he fired his missile pods. He killed my tank buster over here, and he killed some boys over there. So no line of sight required. So he split fire 3 ways. He killed some grunts, but he didn't kill the thing he really wanted to. So now his commander has jumped down and decided he's going to have a pot shot at it. So we're about to film the dice roll on this because it's key. You're going to see a happy Mitch if this works.
Hitting on 2s. I'm overcharging these shots, so I don't want no 1s. That is a lot of 1s. So, 3 1s. Shocking, of course. That puts me down to a few wounds.
Oh yeah, he's lost some wounds there from the gets hot. Blimey, you really do want this thing dead, don't you?
Has he got 5 or 6 is the question. He has 5. So yeah, he's got 2 left. 6 hits. Strength 8.
Toughness 5, the big gun is.
Cool, so strength 8. So wounding on 3s. 4 wounds.
Ouch.
Damage of D3.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. So he's got 5+ save. See if he can do it. No, it wasn't a bad attempt. 2 have got through. D3 damage, did you say?
I did.
Oh, I need you to roll snake eyes here.
That's a 6 and a 1. So 4.
4 is 1 more than you needed. So
awesome.
Big gun is finally dead.
That's the end of that.
So straight back in because upon killing that, it kind of marked the end of Mitch's turn 3. So you've... I mean, the big gun wasn't doing anything all game. I say that because it kind of was. It was capturing points. So I can see why you did want to kill it.
That's why I needed it off there.
Yeah, my first time ever using the big gun. At least my first time, you know, in modern editions. And did absolutely nothing kill-wise, but he did score me some points sitting back there. But yeah, the commander had to come down and show the broadside how it was done, and he did it in spectacular fashion. And you didn't score many points, though, did you, in that turn? You scored your 5 points for owning this one, plus your 1 point for having the banner raised on it.
Yep.
You don't have 3 quarters anymore. So, yeah, so it's just 6 points that turn for you. So, at the end of turn 3, the scores are... Oh, I've got to do some maths now, man. Blimey. Jeez. So it is 46 points to me and 18 points to the Tau. So the Orks are storming away with it at the moment. Can they keep this momentum going? We have suffered some casualties. The boys over there lost a few. There's only 3 of them left, but they did pass their morale, so they are still hanging in there, claiming those points. But yes, let's go into turn 4 and see if the Orks can continue to dominate. And look, Bob's still alive. Bob and the gang have so much fun. Although, I don't know how much longer for. So the start of my turn 4, and I'm going to use this stratagem, one I've never been able to use before. Unstoppable Green Tide for 3 command points. It's an expensive one. I've only got 4 command points at the moment, so that's going to drop me down to 1. But this is good because this means I can remove this under strength unit, bring it back on the board at full starting strength. So I'm going to get a full unit of 10 boys back. So I'm going to do that right now. It's a strange decision to make because it is going to take them off that objective. But I know they'll be dead after another turn because there's only the 3 of them left. So we're going to bring them up, back on the board at full strength and see if they can add their weight to this game and keep me winning. Okay, so we are at a key point in the game now because, this is, what is this? Turn 4. Turn 4. Orks came back with the Endless Green Tide, so they came back on this corner. They left the objective there, came back full strength, and Bob and the gang moved down here because your naughty commander has tried to capture this objective, hasn't he?
He has.
So Bob and the gang, they charged in first, suffered some overwatch, but only lost 1 grot. You then used his special ability, didn't you, which threw out some mortal wounds.
Stratagem of the repulsor field.
Yes, really nasty stratagem. Would have been lovely, but he only used it on grots and didn't roll too well. He just killed 2 more grots.
Indeed.
And then the boys charged in, and they needed a 9-inch charge, and they made their charge, and they've all consolidated in. So I decided not to risk it with the cans. They were a little bit far away, and my cans never make their charges, so they've just stayed stationary. But now we're into this combat here. So, who am I going to go first with? I will go first with... Have you got any command points left?
I do, I've got 1.
But that's not enough to interrupt combat,
It is not.
So, I will go with Bob and the gang first. So, I've got 5... So, I've got 8 grots remain. 1 attack each. Hitting on 5s. Come on, Bob. Ooh, that's quite a few ones. We've got a few hits in there, though. Not bad. 3 hits. Strength 2 on your toughness 5.
Yep.
So they're needing 6s. Come on, Bob. Nothing.
Awesome.
You let me down, Bob. Right, we got the boys. 10 of them, including the knob. So the knob gets 3 attacks. The shooter boys all get 2 attacks each. So we've got 4, 5,
Starting
6,
to look like
7,
a lot of dice.
8, 9. That's right, isn't it? Yep. So 10 altogether. So all hitting on 3s. Come on, lads. How many wounds has he got left? 2 wounds left. Come on, boys. Jeez. We've got 1 cop
That looks
dice,
like a me roll.
which rolls a 3. That is the worst roll of the game, I would say.
It looks on par with all my rolls all night, I would say. Maybe your worst roll of the night.
That is definitely my worst roll.
Looks on par with mine.
Good Lord. That was abysmal. Okay, let's hope they can do a bit better with the wounding. Okay, so I need 4s on the whites. That's the knob. And I need 5s on the greens. That's horrendous. So you've got 1 armor save to make.
Normal
standard.
save?
Yeah,
Of
standard.
a 2+.
So there you go.
Save.
All of that achieved nothing. And now he gets to hit back.
Oh,
Tao is about to win combat.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you want me to hold the camera? No, you carry
I
on
don't know
holding
how
the
many
camera.
attacks I've got.
You film your glory.
Right, can you pass my phone so I can check my list?
I don't want this going well, so I want to throw you off the game. I'm not going to make anything easy for you.
So
I'm just going to eat chocolate over here in the corner.
I get 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. I have a weapon skill of 3. I'm probably... You're going to need to take a morale test on these grots already, because you lost 3.
Yeah.
So, in theory, I should be hitting the boys, try and make you double morale, or I could just try and make grots right away here. I'm going to go on the boys. I'm just going to do 4 attacks onto the actual boys. All hitting on 3s.
Nice!
There you go.
Nice!
I'm glad we finally caught one of my rolls on camera. That's a standard roll right there. Yeah. Well, strength 5.
So 3 to wound.
A 3 to wound.
That's it. I need an armor
one
save.
wound.
I get armor saves, do I? Not a
You
power
do?
weapon or
No,
anything?
no, I've got nothing like that.
6+ save. Oh.
So even with rolling 3 1s there, I've somehow won combat. And I only had 4 attacks.
Wait, how'd you win combat?
Well, you just lost one guy, didn't you?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I've just lost one.
You just lost one boy.
I shall take the one boy off. There you go. Yeah, Tal, win combat. Yeah, we had to come in because we've got a bit of an important dice roll here. The broadside, he's had to move a bit, hasn't he?
He has.
To get within range of this objective. So he's at a -1 to hit. He's shooting at the cans, which have the dirty gubbins. So he's at another -1 to hit. So he's on a -2 to hit. And then what did you roll?
I rolled a few sixes.
So you got...
So actually hit something.
So how many hits have you got there?
So I've got 3 hits with the smart missile systems and 1 hit with the Magna Rail rifle. First hit all game. That's what we're going for.
Let's see what it does.
So we've got strength 5 and strength 9.
So, you need a 3 on the 9.
Yep.
And 5s. God, you're making me check now. I'm sure they're toughness 5.
Might be 4s, right?
Killer cans. I'm looking in the wrong book.
I might.
Toughness 5, yeah. So you're looking, so you need a 3.
Let me double check because I may be lying to you here. Nope, they are strength 5.
So you need 4s on them and 3s on the other
so
one.
A 3 on the blue and 4s on my others. I'm going to spend a command point and re-roll my rail rifle again.
Oh, you spent 2 command points on them rail rifles so far, haven't you? And they've never succeeded for you.
I've spent 4. This is my 4th one.
Your 4th command re-roll.
I've re-rolled this. Every
4th
turn
time's
so
a charm.
Yeah.
Hey! Even I'm cheering for you. You're shooting my stuff. Look at that. Okay, so
6.
what have I got then? What have I got? So I got some saves.
So that missed. So you've got 2 ordinary saves, and then you have, because that was a 6, you have 1 mortal wound straight away.
Wanker.
And that is also a -4.
So I've suffered 1 mortal wound
Yes.
already, and then that's at a -4.
Yep.
So I've got an invuln save because the big mix there is KFF. So they get a 5+ invuln save, and then 2 normal 3+ saves. Bastard. Okay, so I passed 1. The nasty one that's just 1 damage, is it?
It is just 1 damage.
So that's 2 wounds so far, and then however much damage this nasty piece of kit does.
It will do 5.
Good grief.
7 in total, is that?
7 in total. So you've killed a can outright and done 2 wounds on another one. Oh.
Love.
Okay, mate. So turn 4. How did that go for you?
Better, not bad. Actually done some shooting. The rail rifle actually hit something.
It did.
And it killed something.
It did.
Which is epic.
So my cans have taken some casualties now. They've lost 1. Another one's damaged. They passed their leadership test. And then your fellas over here raised a banner on that, didn't they?
Banner over there,
so they didn't do anything else that turn. They ran over there, did the banner raising. And then the combat continued over here. The boys were far more successful this time. But his 2+ armor save is still seeing him through. He is now down to his last wound. He then killed 4 grots. And then Bob and the remaining 3 grots had a pop it back at him and failed to do anything. So he is still just hanging in there with 1 wound remaining. So you scored some points that turn, didn't you? You scored. What did you score? Just your 1 point, wasn't it?
Do I get engaged on all fronts at the end of the turn there?
Engage on all fronts.
Doesn't matter whether he's in combat.
Yeah,
or
no,
not.
you have. Well spotted. You are correct. So you got 6 points for that.
Yeah.
So you got 1 point for your flag, 6 points for that. So you got 7 points from secondary objectives.
Point for that one as well?
No, that'll be on the start of the next turn.
7.
So you got a few more points there. You're gonna need a lot more though. And yeah, we are going on into turn 5 now. The battle still rages on down here at the end of turn 5 for the Orks. So yeah, it was my turn, so you went first, didn't you? Killed Bob's grots, just leaving Bob remaining, and Bob then failed his leadership test and scarpered, robbing my chance of scoring some points for attrition, because over here my big mech and killer cans charged your remaining fire warrior. There was 3 of them, weren't there? And they killed 2 of them with shooting.
Yep.
And then charged in, and the big mech chopped up the last fire warrior before the cans even got to do anything. So I was looking good for attrition points, but then in wiping out that grot, you've robbed me of that secondary objective. So only 5 points scored for me this turn 5, the last turn of the game. But I don't think it's going to hurt me too much because I had quite a lead. But it is now your turn 5 to see if you can exact some kind of revenge.
Indeed. That's all I've got anyway.
There we go. We are coming to the end of the game now. Turn 5. So you scored 6 points for down here, didn't you?
Yep.
Had that. And you got your 1 point for the flag on it.
Yeah.
Excuse the chewing, guys. Professional battle report here. I am eating a sausage roll. Your broadside is going to shoot into my warlord.
He is, just because last ditch effort, try and get some damage done.
A final fuck you.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see what you can do.
Sadly, he's at -1 again. So 5s to hit. That's useless. 3 useless shots. I've got 1 CP. I'm going to use it to re-roll.
You've been loving those re-rolls this game, haven't you?
Hit it with it. I've used my CP every turn on that re-roll for that rail rifle. Finally got another one. So I have got 3 at strength 5, 1 at strength 9.
He's toughness 5 because he's got the Arder's Nails
So I'm
warlord
looking for 3s
trait.
and 4s.
So you're looking for 3s and 4s.
Cool, so 3 on the blue. Yay, finally. So, 2 normal damage, 2 normal saves, and 1 at a -4.
Okay, so I got 2 normal saves at 4+, and 1 invuln save at 5+. That's
Awesome. That's
not the word I would have used.
Most likely death is what that is.
Possibly, but
No, I'm going to go with...
I have a super cyborg body, remember?
Yeah, okay.
So I take it these are 1 damage each?
Yep.
What's this? That's a D6. Okay, so let's do the 1 damage ones first. See if he can survive them. He does.
That's shocking.
He does. How many damage has that nasty one done?
The D6.
Go on, let's see.
We'll do 3.
3, so I've got to make 3 more of those
enough
saves.
to kill him anyway.
He makes 2 of those. You little legend. You awesome dude. So he has only lost 1 wound from that. Beautiful. And he has 5 wounds because he is the cleverest boss. So he had a +1 wound. He's yeah.
Awesome.
Good shit. Good shit indeed. Okay, so that is your shooting done, isn't it?
Yeah, you get to kill me over there before I can do anything.
I do, don't I? Well, I'll tell you what, mate. I was going to pass the camera over to you.
Thanks. Yeah. Yep.
And then, so, I've got 9 dudes. 1 of them being a boss knob, so he gets 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Needing 3s to hit. Come on, boys. You've been trying to kill this fucker all game.
Indeed.
He came back from the dead to do it. Oh, if only they had Daka.
Do you need 3s?
I need 3s in combat, yes.
Unbelievable.
So that wasn't bad at all. I now
Far
need
too good.
5s on the green and 4s
Toughness
on the
5,
white.
Yeah. It still looks like way too many saves.
Bad, although that's the same amount of saves as you had last time, and with the benefit of a re-roll, you saved them all.
So how many have I got?
So you got 7 saves of 2+.
7 saves.
I just need 1 singular 1. It's not much to ask for, man.
I'm sure I can accomplish your task for you. Look at that. 1.
Oh!
And I don't have a CP to re-roll, so he's
At
dead.
last! Oh, give me that camera back. Yeah. Fucking last.
Indeed.
I could consolidate them towards you, but I won't because I'll keep them in range of that, even though it's kind of a moot point because it's the last turn and the game's basically over. Yeah, the game is over. So remaining on the board is an almost full strength for shooter boys. The killer cans remain. They are both at full strength. They lost one of their buddies. Big Mech, he lives with only lost 1 wound. And your broadside was unscathed all game, wasn't he?
He was.
And he is your only remaining living unit. And the game is over. So we're going to calculate the victory points.
Slaughtering
yeah, I think it is. I think it is an Orc victory, isn't it?
Definitely so.
It is an Orc. It's been nice though, mate. Because
it was some bad rolls. It was enjoyable.
I'm glad I caught this on camera. Because this is my first victory in 9th edition, would you believe?
It is.
It's my first victory.
We played a tournament which you didn't do too well in.
No. But we're not talking about that right now. Don't worry about that. Let's stay on point.
Yeah.
Stay on target.
Yeah.
So yes,
I was winning, but
there you go, guys. So we're going to calculate the victory points and see what we've got, and then we will come back to you with a summary thing. Like we'll chat some bollocks for a bit, and yeah. So there we go. Victory for the Orcs. Good stuff. So yeah, first ever battle report on the channel. Good to start off with a victory. Let me know in the comments what you think about the battle report. It's first time ever doing one on the channel, so I'm sure we probably did loads wrong. We probably got the lighting wrong, the sound's probably wrong, the picture quality's crap, the editing's terrible, it's hard to follow, and we got loads of rules wrong. I imagine that's how it's gone. But if you still got some enjoyment from it, then happy days. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed, because this is the first of many. There's going to be many more battle reports coming up on the channel. But how did that go? How did that go for you?
Well, not the best. I obviously lost. So
yeah.
Didn't go the best that one, but I feel like the mix of poor shooting. I took a risk as well with my setup.
You did have some terrible dice rolls, didn't you? Some real bad dice rolls.
Standard for me.
You've always done that, haven't you? Ever since the days of 5th, when we used to play back in the day.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a close game up until turn 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I was ahead by a little bit on turn 1, ahead by a little bit turn 2, and then turn 3, capturing the quarters. The secondary objectives really helped me out.
I lost all of my objectives there.
Yeah, it was a real bad turn for you. Real good turn for me. I scored a massive amount of points. And then pretty much it was the game 1 from there, wasn't it? The pressure was off
from that point, I didn't really have a way of coming back into it.
Not really, no.
You cover the board.
You were hoping for like a really devastating sort of round of shooting to thin my ranks a little, and you did towards the end a bit.
First couple of turns was where I needed the shots. Because it was giving you less shots through the game. They never came.
I think being outnumbered, and I still had the mobility to be able to move around. I had options. Your options were diminishing rapidly, weren't they?
I lost.
Once you start losing those units, and you're losing the ability to, you don't really. You run out of choices, don't you?
Yeah, not a lot you can do when you can only move.
But their final score was 60-32, I believe. So,
yeah.
Comfortable victory for the Orks.
Quite a crushing defeat, I must say.
Yeah.
Not the best.
Command re-rolls were bad for you, weren't they?
Command re-rolls did not do well.
5 in the game?
Yeah, all on the same unit.
And only one of them worked?
Only one of them worked. Yeah. All on my Magna rail rifles, which I spent a CP on to use in the first place.
Not a wasted CP.
Not a wasted CP.
Broadside let you down.
Although the one shot it did hit, it did kill a killer can.
It did.
So
it did.
If it had hit more, could have been useful.
Although his it's raining outside. I don't know if you're picking it up on the camera.
It is.
Those guns didn't work well for him, but his smart missile
systems
was causing lots of little damage continuously through the game. He finished off the tank busters.
Yeah.
He put the hurt on the boys. And he did. He was causing some pain and throwing out some damage, and that needing no line of sight, massive range. You're basically able to hit anything. On the board, weren't you?
Pretty much. He was there to do well.
What would you say was your standout unit in the game?
I mean, honestly, he is the last thing on the table.
He is, but
he didn't kill a lot.
It's got to be your commander, surely, hasn't it?
The commander done well, living in combat for a few turns. He did end up killing your cannon, your mech cannon or whatever.
He killed the cannon.
Yeah.
So he stopped me scoring points there. He killed the grots, Bob and the gang.
He killed the grots all in
single-handedly.
All in combat as well.
All in combat.
Pretty good. Yeah.
And he did he killed one boy, didn't he?
I think at one point, yeah.
And I think
he had a little mishap on his shooting when he was.
Yes, he did.
He was like 2 foot from.
He was survivable, man. He was survivable.
He
Literally, that one wound, I just couldn't quite shave it off.
Yeah, I obviously didn't help myself there by overcharging my wounds either. Yeah. Although that is what probably killed me the mech gun in the end because I needed the D3 damage.
Yeah, we weren't sure on the rule, were we? Because we did it initially because you got like 3 1s, didn't you? And so you took 3 wounds off. But upon reading the rule reads, if you score 1 or more 1s when rolling to hit, this model unit suffers a mortal wound.
Yeah.
So the way we read it is that, although he did 3 1s, it still just gives the 1 mortal wound.
Even though I shot 3 guns.
Yeah, well. I mean, let us know in the comments if we've got that rule wrong.
We'd like to know that one for future.
I think if you read it the way it's written, that is what it says in his entry in the special rules for that weapon.
Just overcharging the cyclic ion blasters.
But yeah, he was a fucker to get rid of. He really was.
He done well.
For me, trying to think what did the best for me. The cans did a great job of surviving. It's the first time I've used the Dirty Gubbins custom job on them. Yeah. I usually go for sparkly bits because that +1 to hit is really nice. But Dirty Gubbins, giving them the -1 to hit, as well as being backed up with that KFF, gave him that 5+ invuln save, -1 to hit, and then he was repairing them every turn. So they were very survivable. Cans don't usually do too well for me traditionally in larger games, but in these 500-point combat patrol games,
they've got a lot of wounds to become survivable.
They're quite tanky, and I really wanted to try and get them in this list and try them out, and they did all right. They just basically. They didn't do a whole lot of killing. They were killing a few things with the big shooters, weren't they?
They took out the Fire Warrior squads quite
They finished off your stealth suits.
They finished off your stealth suits with the charge.
They did all right. They did all right. Their main job that they did was just tank a load of damage and stay alive.
They've done well. I tried to avoid shooting them as much as I could.
Yeah, you wanted that cannon dead, didn't you?
You wanted that cannon. The repair, I was hoping to kill one first turn, just to sort of lower the shooting power of them.
Yeah.
And then when I knew you had repair, I didn't really want to spend too much of my shooting because I didn't have that much.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and lower your other squads.
Even though you probably could have killed one, because what Big Mech took his sweet time repairing. He was repairing 1 wound per turn.
He was repairing 1 wound a turn.
Those D3 rolls weren't working in my favour.
Yeah, I was taking shots. The broadside was using his smart missile systems on him.
I think for me, probably my unit of the game for me in that would probably be my shooter boys. Because they killed your commander.
Yeah.
They scored a lot of objective points. They killed a unit of Fire Warriors. And they came back on the board at full strength. And
that was a pain. They never failed their leadership very hard. I needed them to do that.
I was doing pretty well on my leaderships. My Grots, Bob and the gang, they rolled twice in a row. 1s, didn't they, to automatically pass.
They did.
But Bob crumbled at the end. Right at the end, he crumbled and went.
He couldn't take the commander up close.
But it was a fun game. These weren't really competitive lists, were they, from either of us?
No, not at all. I wouldn't be running that kind of list in 500.
No.
Based on the list that I took in our last 500-point game, it's a lot different.
Yeah, we had a lot tougher game there. So we have played previously a few weeks back, didn't we, in a little tournament?
Yeah.
And you won that game. That was a close game, wasn't it? But you did win that one.
I did come out on top there.
But for the battle reports, we want to do just painted armies only. So basically it was just you were stuck with using what was painted, weren't you?
Yeah.
And same as me as well. A lot of the stuff I've got painted is cans and dreads, so it doesn't leave me too many options. But yeah, I tried out this list and I wasn't too sure about it because I didn't really have much in the way of mobility. And I think with 9th edition now, this edition of the game, objectives are so important, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's such an objective-driven game now.
That's what lost me in that. Once I lost my turn 3 and I moved off that objective.
Yeah.
And from where I got killed on the objective on your side with my stealth suits, it took me off both of them. Made it very difficult for me to pull that back.
And this is the first time we've actually used the secondary objectives, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because in the tournament we kept it simple.
Those didn't do me very favours, I don't think.
No,
they were also very hard.
I did. I think it's quite crucial what secondary objectives you pick. and how that plays into your battle plan.
Yeah.
And secondary objectives they can really be the difference maker, can't they?
It was interesting that we had 2 of the same ones as well.
Yeah, we did.
They definitely worked out more in your favour there.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Unit count helped because you can cover them more.
Definitely. I definitely had the board control.
Yeah.
I didn't have the mobility, that was what was my biggest worry. That's why I had to kill your piranha early on.
Piranha
and your stealth suits. Because I found when we played games before, especially in this small size of combat patrol, mobility, deep striking, infiltrating, abilities like that are so powerful, aren't they?
Yeah,
because the objectives mean everything. And if you can get in to control 3 of the 4 objectives in this mission, Outriders?
Yeah, I mean, any of them.
Huge
really,
advantage.
Controlling 3 objectives gives you.
You got your 15 points, haven't you?
Lots.
Yeah, and it's
every turn. If you can lock them down,
it is massive.
It normally works in your favour. So
but what do you think about 9th edition?
Yeah, I mean, with rule changes based on me playing Tau, a lot of them haven't helped me. I don't feel.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, your big advantage that Tau have got is the Overwatch.
Overwatch
now better than ever because no one else can do it without spending stratagems.
Yeah, it's not an improvement on any other army.
Well, it's an improvement overall in that only you get to do it and no other fucker gets to do it.
I mean, you can do it. Yeah,
I can do it.
Cost
me a CP.
And then it would just counter out. We've both got the same kind of Overwatch.
And it's still crap because it's still hitting on 6s.
Still hitting on 6s.
Whereas yours is pretty damn good, isn't it? Is that because of your set power?
That is because of my set power.
So you're hitting on 5s.
If I'm not running Tau sets, I'll be hitting on 6s again, like normal.
Yeah.
I pretty much haven't paid anything other than Tau sets.
I think the Tau set. I mean, I don't really know too much about how the different sets work and that, but the Tau set does seem nice. But getting that Overwatch, getting it on 5s is lovely. But I think what hasn't helped the Tau is the smaller board sizes.
Smaller board is a bit of a killer.
There's a lot less distance to cover, isn't there?
I can shoot things quicker, but I didn't really have that issue anyway because of my range.
Tau have got pretty good range, haven't they? Even their standard guns, 30-inch range.
30-inch range with pulse rifles,
So broadsides
going all
smaller boards, being able to close in quicker doesn't help.
Doesn't help me. I would say, obviously, when my commander was locked in combat there, now that I can't fall back.
Yeah,
I mean,
changed
I can
the
fall
fly
back,
rules.
but there's not a lot I can do.
No.
Once I fall back, I'm just going to be shot and charged again.
Yeah, he was kind of stuck there when he could have fallen back, but then that would have just meant that I would have then shot him and charged him, and the next go would have been even worse for him. So
exactly the same.
He had no choice but to stay in there and stick it out.
Pretty much.
Which he did.
He did well.
He did all right.
He ended up killing Grots. I mean, probably the best Tau could hope for.
He did a bit of a whack-a-mole, didn't he? Stomping a lot of green paste into the ground. Poor old Bob.
Yeah.
But how do you? For me, a big plus for 9th that I love. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think I loved 8th edition. I think we've had some good games in 8th edition, not filmed, but we've had some good games in 8th edition, and enjoyed that edition. But I think the game plays better. I like that it's more objective focused. I was sceptical about the new board sizes, but I like that you play the smaller games on a smaller board. I like these sort of contained games.
So you have a larger game, larger board.
It
makes sense.
The board scales up with the game you play. The tracking the score is a bit more bookkeeping.
Victory points each
remembering
turn,
how all the secondary objectives
or the end of the turn.
Yeah, because some of the victory points you score at the beginning of the command phase, some of them are at the end of the turn, some of them at the end of the battle round. That gets a bit confusing during game, especially when you're trying to film a battle report at the same time.
Yeah.
But I like what the secondary objectives bring in. They can be a difference maker, and you can tailor them to your force, which I think I think the secondary objectives
tailor them against what you're fighting as well.
Yeah, true, and I think I think you should be thinking about secondary objectives when making your list. I think because you're going to want to choose units that are going to achieve certain goals, and then choose the right objectives to go with that. So there's loads to think about there.
Definitely.
And I love the new terrain rules. The terrain rules actually have rules now.
I actually agree with the terrain rules as well. I like them as well.
So much easier. So 8th, big flaw with 8th was terrain rules. You're always having to flip through the book and never finding answers. Lots of arguments about it.
Of line of sight where you can shoot,
you
can't shoot,
terrain
was
the big sort of downside to 8th for me. But yeah, overall, so far, I mean, we're still fairly new to us, aren't we? So, like I said, we've probably made a lot of mistakes in the game. We think we
played what,
did it right.
4 games of 8,
something like that. Not many. And this would say I would say is probably our first proper game of 9th where we've actually used all the rules.
Yeah,
we broke in gently. Like I said, we left secondary objectives out. And try that as well, guys. Actually, try playing games and not using secondary objectives. It makes for a different game. It makes for a laser focused, like literally you are just fighting over those objectives and nothing else matters. It makes it really focused.
That works out for me.
Yeah, didn't work out for me.
No,
but secondary objectives, like I say, they can really help. And if you're really just 9th edition, I think just always, and this has always been true, but more than ever, play the objective, isn't it?
I think it is play the objective.
Don't get too wrapped up in killing and glory.
Definitely so.
Objectives.
Watch those points. They're hard to crawl back when you're too far behind.
And it can suddenly, the game can suddenly flip, can't it? It really can.
You need to be make sure you're not moving off objectives. Made that mistake this game. Definitely made that mistake this game. But yeah, holding the objectives key.
Yeah. So it's it's been fun, mate. Thank you for playing.
No, it's good to play. Good to play.
We'll do more, won't we? Are you going to carry on painting your stuff?
I do need to carry on painting my stuff
because I'm going to carry on painting mine.
I need to paint a couple of units so I can use them in games like this.
Now this army, you were like me, weren't you? You kind of tapped out in 5th edition.
I tapped out in 5th edition.
And so you sold all your stuff.
Yeah.
You had to start again from scratch. So your Tau army is inherited, wasn't it?
It was.
From your brother. So it was him that painted these back in the day,
long time ago.
In that interesting colour scheme, the gold and silver, unusual colour scheme for Tau.
It is. He went for the ceremonial armour look.
Yeah, it's a good. I like it, and it's a really simple colour scheme. It's literally just flat colour, isn't it, over a black undercoat?
Yeah.
So you can get some stuff painted up really quick if you stick to that scheme.
I can continue the scheme. Yeah.
Is that what you plan to do?
Maybe in some areas. I know I'll probably go for some different seps at some point. May paint some different colour. So I can run 2 detachments, 2 different sep choices in the same army.
I get you.
But mostly, I would say I may just replicate this colour scheme as it is.
Well, it's just a great way to get stuff on the table really quick, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm very. I don't paint as much as everyone else. I don't have all your mini brushes and all your microscopes and everything and all your colours.
Whatever can get them tabletop standard quickly.
I like a nice tabletop standard.
Hey,
yeah,
it's better than grey. It's better than grey plastic,
but it's good. Yeah.
But yeah, we will continue. Like I said, thanks for being on the channel and doing this battle report.
Thank you for having me.
We'll continue to do these games.
Definitely.
We'll play some as our armies grow. We'll play bigger games. But having said that, we'll still carry on playing these combat patrol games because I don't think they get a whole lot of love on YouTube. Everyone wants to see big games, but I think there's a lot to be said for these combat patrol games, isn't there?
Yeah,
you good tactical affair. I think it gives
try a lot of stuff.
Some of weaker units get a chance to shine a bit more. Like the killer cans, a lot more devastating in these smaller games.
You get shot out too quickly.
Yeah, so. I mean even Bob and the gang had had a go.
They tried. They didn't get shot at yet. They gave it a go.
But guys, thank you very much. Please, like I said, I've probably said this several times already, but let me know in the comment section if you want to see more of this, if you enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the bell icon. We'll be back in the future with more battle reports for you, and hopefully they'll improve and they'll get better as we go. I haven't edited this yet, so I don't know what it's going to look like. It might be an absolute fucking mess. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. This is 6+ Stevo, signing out.
Commander's let me down today.
A end of town, turn town. Well, I can't even speak. I'm doing that again. Because I could have done the whole thing in that. There you go. Now it is recording.
Good.
Yes. I'm just recording your breathing right now.
Brilliant. That is
Shock story of the day.
indeed.
What a crock of shit. We didn't talk about anything else, did we?